How to create a multi-sensory experience. In today's world, anyone can make a video and post it on the internet. But can you capture your audience's attention for longer than 7 seconds? The real secret to becoming a successful content creator is to focus on not only getting attention, but captivating it. Take a lesson from directors and creators who make content for TV and movies. They aren't shooting on smartphones or small cameras. Instead, they're creating fully immersive visual worlds and universes for their audiences. That's why there's such a big production that costs hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. It isn't easy to create this in your own bedroom. However, by being aware of what the pros do on a large scale, you can seek to create this on a much smaller scale, all on your own. For instance, professional video makers today are achieving success with this by leveraging digital platforms and advancements in cheaper technology. We're at the early stages of people outside of Hollywood studios creating the same effects on a smaller scale as the major players. People have the skills, they just don't have the same budgets. However, there are some strategies that you can use. The biggest is using your videos to create multi-sensory experiences. So why do you need a multi-sensory experience? Every time you read a good fiction book, the author is writing about all 5 senses: sound, sight, taste, touch, and smell. These 5 senses then become the basis for how we empathize and relate to the characters. In videos, you get to see what's on screen and hear what people say, but you don't get the benefit of the full experience with all 5 senses. In order to get the full experience, you need to supplement in the other 3 senses by being strategic. It takes some creativity to make a video as realistic as being there in person. As we get better at creating digital worlds, video creators need to work even smarter to create video that uses storytelling, technology, and imagination all at once to create a realistic, lifelike viewer experience.
Imagination.
So what is a multi-sensory experience? Well, a multi-sensory experience is basically us trying to recreate life on the screen. Every tech breakthrough that we have brings us one step closer to the goal of a real experience through an artificial medium of art imitating life. Our job as creators is to bridge the gap and create an experience that's so lifelike that the viewer forgets that it's actually not real. You want them to physically smell the coffee as it goes up to your actor's lips. You want them to feel the chill of the snow on their skin, to cringe when they see blood, and other visceral reactions to these dynamics. When you show food, people will actually salivate or have what people online refer to as a foodgasm. Foodgasms aren't a new phenomenon. In fact, they're pretty common when you consider all the food porn that's out there online today. Remember, you can stimulate someone's senses, even taste and smell, when you show someone realistic food and use language to describe the experience. It will trigger their memories and make them nostalgic, causing all sorts of old emotions to bubble up from the surface, similar to when you hear a song you haven't heard in a long time, will take you back to that period of your life. This is also why men and women wear certain types of scents to seduce one another with their natural pheromones. This is how you create reality, by reconstructing it through film. It's not VR, but it's similar to VR because you're taking a conscious approach to recreate it by creating meaningful memories. There are 3 stages of memories that you can create through video: a sensory memory, a short-term memory, and a long-term memory. These are the different stages that memories go through in order to get cemented into your brain. Sensory memories are memories that trigger sight, sound, smell, touch, or taste that helps you to make sense of what you're watching on the screen. That's why creating sensory memories is our goal as creators, because it gets your audience to feel something so that they remember your video. It's an incredibly smart business strategy for branding. For instance, realtors do this all the time. When they're trying to get somebody to imagine themselves living in the home, they're creating stories in the minds of their prospects. They may light candles, bake cookies, hang photos on the wall, stage the home, play music, or serve drinks by the pool. They don't just show an empty, boring house, because people can't imagine themselves living in that home. Rather, they project a lifestyle that they want to sell their audience on by helping them to remember it. So if a prospective home buyer sees 7 open houses that day, they want their house to be the one that they remember the most. They want that prospect to go home that night and imagine themselves living in that home and then making that sensory memory so strong that they get compelled to move forward into making that picture in their mind real. Let's go back to Foodgasms for a moment.
Yes! 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 Oh, God.
I'll have what she's having.
So when you really like something that you're tasting from a chef, you say something like, that's good. It sounds sexual in nature. So when they show that on TV, a cooking show, for example, they're arousing the audience in a way that stimulates a variety of different senses. What we're doing with video is that we're creating life and then using that realistic mental image to arouse the senses to do one thing and one thing only: sell pleasure. For example, when professional actors, comedians, or vloggers create content, they want to see visceral, real reactions. It takes the audience from a passive to a more active experience. You want to take your viewers from foreplay to climax.
What did he say?
I know, it sounds weird, but I'm being serious. It's no secret that people have short attention spans. TV and filmmakers use many of the same techniques that help you to get someone turned on to have sex in the way they create a plot for a story that lasts 30 minutes to a few hours. Hey, TikTok creators prove that 15 seconds is more than enough time to get the job done. A few years later, I helped a top nutritionist and chef client build a multi-million-dollar digital brand. We developed blogs, vlogs, food photography, lighting, and made boring plant food look fun through exciting images and emotional sensory experiences that we created. We gave the food fun branded names to make the recipes more memorable. These are the things that help to paint a creative picture in the mind of the person watching, and this evokes an emotional response. This emotional response sells. For example, casinos pump smells to make you stay there longer and spend more money, and so do grocery stores. They try to entice you to stay longer. That's why it smells like freshly baked bread. They want you to be hungry and keep shopping, even if you just ate. Jimmy John's is an American sandwich fast food restaurant chain that blatantly incorporates this strategy into their marketing. They literally have a sign outside their store that says free smells. That's because when you walk inside the store, it smells delicious. Most Americans find it difficult to pass up anything dubbed as free. Free smells simply reminds customers that they are smelling something amazing and it's free.
I saw the sign outside and I'm just here for my free smells.
Which gets them to step through the door and order a sandwich. A visceral reaction is an instinctive, gut-deep bodily response to a stimulus or an experience. Without getting too complex, neurotransmitters, which are chemical messengers in our brains, determine what emotions we feel and force a physical response. Raw and uncontrolled, these visceral reactions are something all people experience, making them a valuable tool for building empathy in your audience. That's why when you go to a thriller movie in a theater, your blood pressure spikes, you might scream or even start to have the chills. This is all based on the neuroplasticity of the brain and what are known as mirror neurons, which are firing to create dopamine, which allows your brain chemistry to physically feel what the people on screen are feeling. Porn arouses you and turns you on from what you're watching, and that's what makes porn, porn. Films in theaters do this a bit more artfully. They just show snippets because the FTC has rules. But even when you hear the word fuck, it's shocking. When you hear it, that evokes a response. But again, you can't just use this distastefully. Certain speakers like Tony Robbins use the F-bomb for deliberate impact. Tony Robbins is the guy that makes his event look like a rock concert. It's not just a guy on stage. There are lights, visuals, music, people giving people massages, people walking on coals, all this to get all your senses going to create a really immersive experience. So I share these examples with you because what you need to figure out as a creator is how to turn your on-camera behaviors into a system for always evoking reactions from the audience, to always create an emotional connection, roping them in, playing with their emotions in a way that promotes multisensory learning. Multisensory learning is using the multisensory experience, which I've just explained, and gearing it towards learning. This is the real goal of this video because this is how you develop a deep, highly programmable learning experience for your audience. When you get people into this emotional, highly aroused and engaged state, you have the power to impart wisdom to them and motivate them into action. You can share your expertise and knowledge with them in a way that they not only enjoy, but that they learn and remember. Knowledge isn't the problem. We all learned how to do algebra in high school, but how many of us actually retain that information? Chances are, if you had a teacher that you were really attracted to who made learning fun and exciting, you remember that knowledge today. That's why you want to focus on recreating lifelike videos so that people will remember you and share your content and eventually buy from you. So as you go out there and influence your audience, remember that you're reconstructing reality for the betterment of humankind. You may not have the power of Lucasfilm Studios or MGM at your disposal, but you do have the power of brain chemistry and highly advanced mental imagery that can program your audience to learn from you. Use the force, but do so wisely so that you could create a better experience for your audience. Click the like and subscribe button if you enjoy learning from me, and ring that bell so that you could get notified when my next video comes out.